Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk. 2020 is coming to a close. Today is December 31st, 2020. We finally made it to the end of the year. 2020 is, fill in your own adjective, this year for me. 2020 for me has been a learning experience, a trying experience, a growing experience, and it's been a blessed year. And no matter where you are standing wise in your career path, age, political beliefs, religious beliefs, all of that has been impacted in 2020. And it's how we respond to 2020 is how you will go forward in 2021. And how are you going to grow to be a better person and a better audiophile in 2021? Just a couple thoughts on things that have been on my mind through the year of 2020. Some stuff has already been mentioned in other videos, so bear with me. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Number one, we all have different music preferences, and we all have those go-to songs. You get in your car and you're going to drive to work. You hit the radio and you listen to your favorite station, and it's going to be playing certain types of songs, or you start up your DAP, or you turn on your satellite TV or your satellite radio, all that kind of stuff. You have particular stuff that you listen to, and it might depend on what you're doing, whether or not you're working, or if you're working out, or if you're cleaning a house, or if you're walking your dog, various things. You probably have certain types of music that you want to listen to. And for you and for me, our differences might be different. For some people like to work to heavy metal. Me, not so much. I like to work with Mozart and Beethoven in the background. Some people like to work out with a rap and dance music going on. For me, I actually like to listen to country and classic rock. Various other things, can play into. So we all have different preferences. And when you put a new piece of gear on, whether it be a headphone or an IEM, a DAC or an amp, we're going to test that gear. And a lot of times we take our favorite tracks and we listen to them. And then we'll maybe listen to a review, or we watch a review and then buy the gear, whichever way you do it. And our differences are going to come out. Well, he says it says that, and he says it says that, and she says this, and she says that, and I don't hear it that way. And why? A lot of it has to do with the music that's listening. And so one thing that I have learned through the years is keep my preferences, and have my favorites, but also expand my listening experience. So I don't listen to a whole lot of modern music. I don't listen to a lot of rap and dance music. I'm more of a classical type of guy, jazz, new age, country, and classic rock, and a little bit of metal, especially older metal. And so, my differences may be different than yours, but I have added in other stuff, and it has helped me to understand what people are hearing and what people prefer. And so I highly recommend that if you are very set on, I only listen to these particular artists only, maybe expand out a little bit and add some different things. And you might start hearing some different things that other people are hearing, and you're going, wait a minute. So that's one. Two, listening levels. Lower your listening level. This has been mentioned by DMS recently, and also I've had experiences of this year as the year has gone along, and others. And I have a friend who listens to music extremely loud, and so when we're together and we're listening to music and swapping gear around and all that kind of stuff, he always is like, hear this, and he puts it on my head and he hits the play button. I'm holy cow, and I'm turning down the volume. And then when I'm handing them back to him, he's cranking the volume back up. And so, lower your levels. Get yourself a little tool that's just a little dB leveler, and Put it in your headphones, find out what the level is. And if you're between 65 and 75, that's about the level that I listen to. If you're above 85, crank it down. And it's not the most scientific, it's not the most accurate, but it's a decent little tool to be able to say, okay, it's recording at these levels. I need to turn it down, or I can turn it up just a little bit. And I got challenged several years ago to start listening at lower levels. And I told the person that told me that I need to listen at lower levels, look, man, when I turn levels down, I can't hear details. I don't feel it. And it just sounds boring. And he's like, train your ears. And he said, take it steps by steps. So lower it by one volume notch until you get down to the set amount on that particular amp. So I started doing that. And at first I was like, no, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And finally I started to really pay attention to what I was hearing. And I noticed that I actually had a more enjoyable experience at lower levels, and I was hearing details more clearly, and I was able to be more discernible in my listening. Discernible? I was able to hear things better. But the funny thing is, details don't just magically appear when you raise the volume. What? Details are already in the music? It's already there? Yeah, actually it is. So whether or not you're listening at lower levels or higher volumes, guess what? You're still having the same level of detail present. And I find that at lower levels, I'm able to, for one, not burn out my ears. I'm not having tinnitus in my ears. And two, I can actually kind of focus in on the music more and pay attention to it. And I can break out the details more and be able to pay attention to the tones and the timbre of an instrument and of the gear that is being used. So lower your level. I challenge you to lower your level in 2021. Next, if you have the opportunity, I know that it's going to be a little limited based on what's going on in the world, but if you have the opportunity, listen to an orchestra, opera, acoustical concerts and things like that live. Sit down and actually really pay attention to what's going on. And if you have the opportunity to hear it. Now, there's a lot of things, especially where I live, there's several towns that have orchestras and that have little local bands and things that get together and play at the park. And a lot of them are for free. You can just go sit in your little lawn chair. You can do social distancing and all that, and you can just enjoy the music. And you can get to know exactly what a tone of certain instruments are. And you can kind of learn how the timbre works when you have 6 or 7 different instruments playing together. And you can follow each one and hear the different characteristics and things like that. And you'll kind of just learn for free what a true tone sounds like. And also you'll get to know what a true soundstage sounds like. And so you'll ultimately become a better audiophile, and you'll be able to apply it when you come back to your office or come back to your home and you put headphones on or you turn your speakers on. You'll be able to match it up and say, does it sound like it did in real life versus what I'm hearing here? And so if you have the opportunities to hear instruments live, take advantage of it, even if it isn't your preferred musical style. And lastly, just remember that we're all in it for enjoyment, and we all have different budgets. And the crazy thing that I have learned is that there is good gear at really low prices, and there's really good gear at higher prices, and there's really good gear in the middle. And there's also bad gear at low prices. There's bad gear at higher prices, and there's bad gear in the middle. So you can't just set yourself a standard and say, this is the limit. And you kind of have to explore all about. You can mix and match cheap stuff with expensive stuff. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's just a fun thing. And we're all out for enjoyment and for what sounds natural and realistic to us and what makes us have a smile on our face while we're listening to music. Those are some thoughts going forward for 2021. But most importantly, enjoy your music. Protect your ears with proper listening levels. And understand what true tone and timbre is. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching. And thank you for supporting the channel through 2020. Let's see what we can do in 2021. And I'll catch you on the next video.